All right, Panther fans, let's go. Come on, let's go. Time for your therapy session. It's cold in here again. 51 degrees and cloudy and windy. Supposed to get rain tomorrow. Yeah, we're getting like December's weather with the except the freezing at night, but it got too cold too soon. All right, so yesterday we had the all 16, what is that? The Frozen Frenzy on a Tuesday night with no advertising about it on a night when the World Series is playing. That's brilliant. That's brilliant, NHL. Good job. Good job. Steven, how you doing, buddy? Another bad night to keep pacing the Atlantic. We'll look at that. Oh God, the shorthanded goals. Yeah. Greg says Cats will show up versus Dallas to continue being on brand, show up versus good rivals, and mad against everyone else. That sounds about right. Hungry. Oh, I just wanted to have some fun with it. Dangle can handle it. He's the one that tweeted that. So those are the consequences of his actions. That's just how it is. I says we can't accept the at least we got a point anymore. It's not good enough. Hey, Jameson. I appreciate that, bud. Would you believe what's interesting about that is if you watch the segment where he talks on and on and on, and you see how it times out with I was talking and then he starts talking and then I start talking again. That wasn't on purpose. In other words, when I filmed the part where I'm on the phone, I just imagined about how long it was going to take for him to talk. Then when I put his stuff together, I just put it in place. It worked perfectly to like the microsecond. I just kind of stood there. I sat there like, so yeah, I had some fun with that. Strafasi, you're worried? I don't know. I mean, look at how many guys are out, right? I mean, you can only lose so many guys, and then the guys that are replacing the guys. So let's look at the scores from last night. And I'll bring that up. Because we're going to look at the standings. So last night, the Leafs beat Calgary 4-3. Flyers got the Penguins in the shootout 3-2. The Knights beat the crap out of the Hurricanes 6-3. Blue Jackets beat the Sabres in overtime 4-3. Everybody gets a point. Ducks Panthers shootout. Everybody gets a point. Bruins beat the Islanders. The Lightning are starting to look a little bit more like themselves. 5-2 over the Preds. Jets and Wild. Jets won 4-3 in overtime. The Wings 5, Blues 2. The Stars shut out the Capitals 1-0. And then the Blackhawks, they did to the Senators bad things, 7-3. And then the Avalanche did worse things to the Devils at 8-4. So where that puts the standings is just absurd. It's absurd. So third place are the Leafs with 11 points. And last place are the Bruins with 10 points. I don't know if you know much about hockey, but that's ridiculous. The same thing over in the Metro, basically. It's almost as close. Hurricanes are in third place with 12, and the Rangers are next to last with 10. The Islanders are the only team in the only team in the Eastern Conference who is not one game away from being tied in a playoff spot in their division. The Islanders are the only team. And they're only 3 points out. And then over in the West, the Mammoths lost, the Avalanche won, so now they're tied. Things are a little bit more normal as you would expect right here, except you wouldn't expect the Blues to be in last place. Blues, Wilds, Preds bringing up the rear. Blackhawks with 12 points, doing okay. And the Pacific, a little bit tighter until you get to the bottom with the Sharks at 6 points. And the Calgary Flames have 5 points in 11 games. Bad. Bad, 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 bad. So let's see. Hungry, you say you disagree with Eyes getting a point with all the people missing, while Dostal goalied us for 2.5 periods is more while. Kenneth says Panthers in 9th are just barely outside the playoffs. Jesus. Greg says not worried considering the guys not on the ice. Exactly. Plus the teams that got to stack up good drafts over the years will eventually pay off. It's expected. Hungry, I believe Utah is legit. I would agree with you there. Hey, fatality. Yeah, the Blackhawks look good. They're good. Sorry, I got a text. I got distracted for a second. 12 points, 5-3-2, so they're 500-ish. But the good thing that you can see about Chicago is that plus minus, the goal differential is at +7. That bodes well. I know they won some games. I mean, they can score some goals. They got Spencer Knight now. I don't know. I don't think they're going to make the playoffs this year, but they could be like the Jackets were last year and make it close anyway. Steven says, a little tired of the getting goalie story. Look how we are. Look how low we are on goals for. We need to put the puck in the back. Don't look at the deserve to win a meter. Don't look at the deserve to win a meter. That's for sure. Jerry says, we're missing a lot of firepower. I'm okay with where we're at for now. I mean, look, if we can hover around third place before Tkachuk comes back, we should be okay. We should be okay. Yeah, Tarasov looked good. Silva says, Utah makes me mad. Arizona was sitting there building and all that, just to have it snatched away at the last moment. Yeah, I feel you there, Silva. I can't imagine how pissed off Arizona fans must be. Well, not as pissed off as Quebec Nordiques fans. Don't forget, when the Avalanche beat us for their Stanley Cup, that was their first year in Colorado after moving from Quebec. So, yeah. How about that? You know what I mean? And you know, it would have been a Canadian Stanley Cup. Hey, Dark Fear, good game last night. Ducks can put up a fight, no doubt. No, they look good. They held their own. I mean, you know, you kind of knew Panthers might have a little bit of comeback in them, but shootout was not meant to be. Vincent says, Petrie getting booted. What are we thinking? I don't know. I don't know. The way I'm looking at it is Kulikov is the guy that got injured. Bolinskis is the guy that took over for Kulikov, so they must want somebody else to take over for Kulikov, and Petrie's going to stay. That would be my best, the simplest guess that I can make with that whole situation. But I don't think defense right now is really the problem. I really don't. I mean, we're giving up. I mean, last night, what was it, even 20 shots last night? Like, when we look at our stats, I don't really feel like defense is the problem. So when we look at Bobrovsky's last 5 games, he's allowed. Okay, so in the last 2 games, Bobrovsky has faced 17 and 17 shots. Now, before that, it was 31, 31, 23. So the 31's definitely not good, right? And then Tarasov last night faced, let's see. Tarasov last night faced 17 shots. So that is 3 games in a row now that we've only allowed 17 shots. Now, before that, Tarasov had faced 33. So something got fixed. Something got fixed for sure. But what exactly is it? I don't know, because it's still been Petrie and Balinskis. But that's 3 straight games. We've only allowed 17 shots. That doesn't scream, OMG, we need a defenseman. Vincent says it's not quantity, it's the quality of chances they allow is crazy. Have you seen the first goal yesterday? What was that? They're off for some reason. I agree with you in theory there, but I don't think it's necessarily as much with the defensemen. I mean, I would think it's just as much the forwards anyway. I get what you're saying. Lil J says, yeah, the 17 shots a night from other teams are easy goals. Right. I mean, I understand what you're saying. Kenneth says, Sharks are the same. Lost 4-3 last night. Sharks had 40 shot, LA 14. All right. Well, like I said, I suppose the guy that I would assume the guy that would be on the outskis would be Balinskis. You know, I mean, I already talked to Tree Leaving. If you watched the video earlier, OEL and Domi for Boquist. They got to retain half the salary, and we can't afford it. But I figured it would piss off Dangle anyway. So yeah, I mean, I get what you're saying. We tend to give up, right? What was our expected goals last night? That I don't know. I know the win-o-meter was like 88% for us, or however they sort through that. So, I don't know the expected goals. Let me see what what's Balinskis plus minus? I mean, I know it's a small indicator. I mean, he's only -2. He's got no points. So it means he's only been on the ice for 2 goals. What about Petrie? Petrie at least has a couple of points. I mean, I don't know what we're thinking, and I don't mean that in a negative way. I just mean I don't know what we're thinking. We don't need a top 4 defenseman. Petrie is what is that? Is that he's -5. So there's that. Aaron says, don't care what the lose-o-meter says. You go scoreless on the power play, give up a shorty, and go 5-on-3. You deserve to do. Let me see if I can find something here real quick. No, that's not going to do it. I thought maybe I could find something there, but so yeah, you go scoreless on the power play, you give up a shorty, and you go 5-on-3. You deserve to lose. Yeah, I get it. And we almost killed off that damn 5-on-3 too. It was really close. It was really, really close. Frost says this reminds you of 23. You mean, yeah, except for that we're not going to have the energy to. I don't think we're going to be. We were like 10 points out, right? AT money. So Mendel says, how do I feel about the Kadri rumors? I know there's a lot of layers to it with Barkov injury. But was interested in my thoughts. He's a bit old. I don't know. When I look at our roster, now there's two parts to it. So Shafasi thinks Kadri fits in, but where? Now, if you start talking about Kadri, you're obviously talking about Barkov's not coming back. And that's the thing. There's 2 very different scenarios. If Barkov is coming back, we already have too many guys. So you're going to have to move guys. And who are you moving? You know what I mean? Now, as far as you say, take Erod's spot, you're going to trade Rodriguez? Pente says, Florida ain't winning even one series without Sasha and Kachuk. Well, Kachuk will be back. But I don't want to, I'll be honest with you, unless you're talking about Crosby or somebody of that nature, I don't want to give up assets to try to three-peat if Barkov's not coming back. I don't want to give up assets unless Pittsburgh tanks and Crosby pulls a Kachuk and says, "Get me out of here. I want to go to Florida for peanuts." Unless you're talking about something of that level, I don't want to give up assets because, if Barkov is not coming back, unless it's because you're going to still have to kick Rodriguez off the roster to fit somebody else in, just by the numbers. So I think we're just in it. I think we're just in it to try to survive this season. And when Kachuk comes back, if we can just stay within third, fourth place, stay within a couple of points of that, tread water, and that's where we're lucky. I mean, look, yeah, we're kind of mid. We're 5-5-1, but the Leafs are 5-4-1. The Senators are 5-5-1. The Sabres are 4-4-2. The Lightning are 4-4-2. So all we got to do is tread water. And then when we get Chucky back, then we worry about what's going to happen, later on down the road. But Hungry says we're lacking our finishing touch. That is our biggest issues. But yeah, and look, I mean, Marchand, you've seen without Marchand what happens last night. Kenneth says, yeah, Pittsburgh's going off script. Yeah, good job, Penguins. Damn it. Real says, down 6 starters and we're still tied for third. Sorry for not freaking out, but I think that's about the best we can expect right now. Sure. And look, I mean, Montreal is just winning, right? T-Money says, by the way, crazy-ass stat for everyone entering the day yesterday. San Jose's power play was 7th in the league. Metal says, I would absolutely sacrifice this season if it meant we get a third cup next year. So, and the parts of that is I kept thinking Rodriguez was on a contract here, but he's not. So if Barkov doesn't come back, well, either way, we can keep Rodriguez, but Rodriguez wouldn't be able to play if he comes back. How were we in the face-off circle last night? Lundell, I think they said is 7th or 6th or 7th in the league. He's at 55.2, so he's not quite Barkov-esque right now. Where's Rodriguez, and how did Schwink do last night? Let's see. Because face-offs are also a problem. Schwink, he had been at 33%. He's now at 25%. So that's a problem. That's a problem. How did, last year he was at 50% in 42 games. Was he playing center for them most of those games? Does anybody know? I know he's a center, but I'm just wondering because last year he was at 50. He's at 25 right now. So hopefully that goes up, but it looks like he was worse last night. Rodriguez has been about 40-ish, 42, 46. Rodriguez's faceoff percentage has actually gone up since he moved up to the top line. I don't know. Real says Barkov's not coming back, but just imagine when all the other guys are back. Real, I don't know, man. I don't know that he's not coming back. I wouldn't bet money on it. Not right now. Yeah, exactly, communist. Darth Jedi, yeah, I believe the Lightning are waking up a little bit now. Sean wants to know if Sam Bennett plays for us anymore. It's an imposter. The real Sam Bennett is somewhere on a beach relaxing, and they got some other dude, and they just colored his beard and shaved him bald, and he's kind of mid, but he's functional. Yeah, the Lightning will wake up. Let's see. Vincent says Kachuk comes back. They send Boquist out for a D, then get in. Barkov comes back. It all makes sense. There's people in Canadian media kind of accept that he's going to be back. That's probably exactly, Vincent. That's probably it. Craig says Schwint is not great at C, which is a bummer. Yeah. Craig, I get the feeling the way that, at least people have talked that he's going to be back. Hey, Russell Bleeds, what's going on in St. Louis, man? I picked the Blues. Oh, that's what it is. My bad. I picked the Blues to make the playoffs. I said that they would take the place of the Wild. I picked the Wild to be out, but I picked the Blues to make the playoffs. That's on me. My bad. Stock Guy says, I don't think Bennett has been that bad. I think Verhaeghe has been way worse. Well, nobody's playing physical, right? So I think when you know, and look, we know this already. We know Bennett's a playoff performer. We know Verhaeghe is streaky and everything. Bennett was a little bit better yesterday. I'll give him that. He's not great, but he was a little bit better yesterday. Jalopy says Bennett hit hard to the post. Yeah, he did hit that post. That was a massive ding-donger. Russell says, I don't want to play the Red Wings anymore. Neither do I. But I have a feeling that's who the Panthers are going to play. Because I think it's going to be Montreal, Detroit, Florida, Toronto, Tampa. Or maybe flip Tampa and Toronto. I do feel like we'll be able to hold on and get third place. If we're 500 without Kachuk, I think we can hold on to third place. Craig says Barkey's determination will drive him. He'll be a Terminator with his focus. I don't even disagree with you, man. Sean. Yeah, Bennett's going through what Swaggy went through last year, almost to a T. That's very true. Yeah, Bennett's plus minus is not great. And I mean, who knows? We don't know if he's fighting something. He's got 2 points in 11 games, and he's a -9. Holy moly. Holy moly, Sam. What are we doing? His face-off percentage is good. He's doing good on the dot, so that's good. He's at 50%. Thank God for that, right? But, geez. And he only has 10 penalty minutes, which is a little bit lower than his normal, right? But, look, I mean, last year, what did he have? Last year, 25 goals, 26 assists, 51 points, -15. Right? Now, the year before, he was a +17. So last year and this year definitely are different. In fact, if you go all the way back with Florida, +12, +27, +5, +17, then last year was -15, and this year he's -9. But he won the Conn Smythe, so we got a contract. That's an issue. I don't know. He was -15 with a career high in points with 51. In 21-22, he had 49 points, but he was +27. Holy moly. That's a big difference. Let me see. Hey, Burned Oil, how you doing, buddy? Connie says, can we just not play anyone and just be given the cup? I thought that's how it worked. I thought when you win 2 cups in a row and then you win your first 3 games of the season, I thought they just canceled the season and gave you the cup. Kyle told me I was wrong. Shows you what I know. Meadow says, get cup, get contract, get married, suck a bit. That's true. Joyful, maybe you guys want the wild card. Woo! What's the money on that? How much can somebody win if they bet the Sabres to get the wild card? I didn't even include you guys in the surprise teams the other day because of to see if the goalie situation. Maybe I'll make a part 2 to that. I don't know. I mean, it's going to be tough for Buffalo to get in. Because if you just concede Montreal, Detroit, Florida, even if you just concede that, so now they're looking at the wild card, and they'd have to be better than the Leafs and the Lightning and the Senators. That's rough. That's going to be a tough sell, Joyful. Real says Bennett feels guilty for all the tax benefits. No, Sean, no, you can't trade Mackey. You can't trade Mackey. I won't allow it. I'll fly down there and stop it. I don't know, I'll glue myself to a street or something. Mike says we were able to eke out a point against a better than 500 team with 6 of our starters out. Right? Yeah. I mean, that's one way to look at it, right? You could tell we certainly missed Marchand. Burned Oil says, I do find the Panthers are doing pretty well with half their lineup surgically removed all of a sudden. That's along with every time putting in extra effort, every time they play them. Yeah, every team. Yeah, everybody that's playing us is playing their best game of the year. So, I mean, that is that is the truth. Craig, yeah, the $8 million, yeah. Jalopy says, no team could handle this Panther injury thing. If someone's going to go through this kind of stuff, it's the Panthers. Joyful says, with Josh Stone and a lot of young players going, I believe you can. Hey, look, I mean, I'd love to see it. But if you do make that wild card, I hate to tell you what Montreal's going to do. I'm just saying. But you're getting close. Look, last year there was a couple of minutes where it looked like you guys might be able to hang in there. It's that second half of the season, Joyful. That second half of the season where and I'm not saying this to disparage the Sabres, but that's when the real playoff teams stand up and they start playing a little bit harder. Things get a little bit tighter. And that's when the teams really aren't playoff teams. That's when they slide back. So if you guys can stay in the hunt, then you'll find out what your team is the second half of the year. Deadly Flame says, I think the Flames are playing Wolf too many games. We've talked about that, so let's look at that. Because he's already had 10 starts. Has anybody else started? He's already had 10. How many games have you guys played? What? I think we had looked at this before. Let me see. So, yeah, Cooley has started 1 game. And he looked good, too. Cooley started 1 game. He's got a 2.29 and a 9.25. And they have started Dustin Wolf every other game. And he's got a 3.44 and an 8.87. Holy hell in a handbasket. And they're allowing just about 30 shots a game. They're going to ruin that kid. I agree with you. That's crazy. Yeah, he started the season on a back-to-back. Yeah, he's got 10 starts. He's 2-7 with a 3.44 and an 8.87. He's faced 291 shots in the 10 games. Now, that's crazy. That's wild, man. Yeah, he's young, but come on. And they're not. I mean, the other guy, you gotta give your guy a little bit of a break. But don't tell that to who was it? Was it Brodeur? Was it Brodeur that used to play like 70-something games a year? Or Hasek? It might have been both of them. That's crazy. Mike says, I think our team is just going through the Stanley Cup hangover. I mean, that's another part to it too, right? Vincent says Petrie's skating there, spilling wine on the ice. And yeah, scientist Bennett has new contract syndrome happened for Hagee and Boquist last season. Hey, Bill. Yeah, Dostal was pretty good yesterday. You think he'll how old is he? You think he'll win a Vezina sometime? Let's see. How old is this kid? He's 25, so he's coming into his own, right? So his numbers haven't been Vezina-like just yet, but he's young. His best season when he's played games was basically last year with a 310 and a 903. But he's still only 25. Sometimes these guys take a while to develop, Just ask Jacob Markstrom. Deli Flames, I don't know what Coach Siska is thinking, honestly. I mean, we used to see that. I wonder if it was Brodeur. I had it. Come on. It was either Brodeur or Hasek. Brodeur, game started. Yeah. Game started for Brodeur. Starting in 95 and 96, 75, 64, 69, 70, 72, 72, 73, 73, 75, 73, 78, 77. And then he must have been injured one year. Then was 76. And then he started playing a lot fewer games. And I mean, some of the years, just insane numbers. The year he started 78 games, he had a 218 and a 922 with 12 shutouts in one friggin' season. George says, at least we ain't the Rangers. Amen. Hallelujah. Amen. Amen. Real says, I don't think it's even a hangover. They're just trying to figure out how to play while missing a third of the lineup. It can be a little bit of both. I think it's a little bit of both. Like Bennett's definitely having some kind of hangover. You know what I mean? Hey, Colin. Yeah, I appreciate that. I had fun with that. Was Hasek the same? Was Hasek the same? No, hockey reference. Come here. Where are we? Here we go. No, Hasek started 72 once and then 66, 64, but nobody was like Brodeur. I mean, the one year he played 70, he started 78 games. I mean, like, it must have just been 4 back-to-backs that he didn't play or something. Kenny says, Brodeur didn't have to do anything. The Devils played the trap and won every game 2-1. 5 players playing D every shift, not stressing on the goalie. I mean, that's definitely true, and Wolf gets none of that. Right. Sharky, you play the Devils tomorrow? They just got the asses whooped. They're going to be mad. They ain't going to be too happy. Bill says, we're great without Barkov and Kachuk, plus Bennett is an ass. He'll be all right. It's still really early, And, like they said above, at least we're not the Rangers, right? Where are the Rangers? And they got 10 points, though. That's the funny thing. You say, at least we're not the Rangers. We're 1 point better than the Rangers. Everybody. There are in the East, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. There are 11 of the 16 teams in the Eastern Conference are within 1 game of each other. 11. The Canadians and Wings are up above. The Devils and Penguins are up above, and everybody else is within 1 game of each other except for the Islanders. So it is literally anybody's ball game right now. If anybody was to get on like a real run, like when the Panthers won 12 in a row a couple of years ago, if anybody was going to get on a run, something like that, 10, 11, 12 games, they would sew up first place in the conference with that and just play 500 the rest of the way. It's crazy right now. Kenneth says at least the Sharks are done with the Devils for the season. Yeah. You think the Red Wings will choke eventually, huh? I don't know. Well, actually, I think that was one of the teams that I picked yesterday to not make it. So it's interesting. I keep putting them in second place. What I did is I looked at the goalie tandems for let's see, Detroit, Pittsburgh, Utah, and Seattle, because 4 surprise teams. So I looked at the goalie tandems and looked at the goalie's history and kind of gauged whether or not I thought that they could continue to play at that pace or not. And I actually did come to that conclusion, Strafasi, that I think the Wings are one of the teams where the goaltending might not hold up over the course of the season. Capitals Ovi fan. Man, I remember the 74-75 season for the Capitals. 8 wins and 67 losses. Oh. Trey says, I was totally fine with a point last night. I went back to see if we at least scored and we were in the shootout. I just would like to see the goals live. ESPN Plus. Don't get me started. Don't get yourself started, Josh. You're in a good mood. Diehard Red Wings fan says, I enjoy people doubting us. I think the team is good enough. I think the team itself is good enough. Whether or not the goaltending can continue, because what was the here, hold on a second. What was the conclusion that I drew here? Let's find, come on. Detroit's website is so full of ads. So Gibson and Talbot. So maybe it wasn't Detroit. Maybe it wasn't Detroit that Detroit, Pittsburgh. No. I think because Talbot right now was playing a little bit better than there's room for improvement there. Maybe not. The question's going to be Gibson. Like Talbot's at 2.98 and 8.90. You're not going to make the playoffs like that. So then when you get back to Gibson, the question I have about Gibson is, has he finally regressed? Now, he's only 32. I understand that. But when you look at his numbers in Anaheim, and I understand it's Anaheim, 3.99 and an 8.99 and a 3.54 and an 8.88. And then last year, he only played 28 games, started 28 games, and he was better at 2.77 and a 9.12. But this year, he's back at a 3.20 and an 8.76, which is very, very similar to the previous 1, 2, 3 years he had in Anaheim. So you just start to wonder, well, how much of it is Gibson? How much of it was Anaheim? So neither one of those guys. Right now, Detroit is outscoring their problems. And I just don't know how sustainable that's going to be. But if everybody else continues to falter, I suppose it could happen. Vincent, learning numbers with Jaws. Hey, Emperor King. Bill says if Reinhardt could put the puck in the back of the net, we would be a lot better. Yeah, he's missed a few. If Sam, I love me Mackey. I love me some Mackey. But if Samoskevich could aim too, huh? He is getting some good looks on the power play. We need a few of those in, buddy. Megafish, even though you guys lost to the Oilers last night, I don't care. You've been playing well. Yeah. That was, look, Utah, that was one of the teams I looked at yesterday. I think Utah is real. Foster says, how many points do I think will get us in? That's a good question. Does Reinhardt have 5 goals already? How many points do I think would take it to get us in? If you extrapolate, let's extrapolate. 8 times right now, give or take. Give or take right now, we're on a 90-point pace. So are the Leafs, so are the Senators. So 94, 95. I think, what was the number last year? 92 or 93 got in, right? 94, 95. I think that gets us in, which we are not playing at that pace, but, we got Kachuk to come back. That's the, Metal says 94. Yeah, that's about the number I'm thinking, 94, 95. Real says, I think our top 4 goal scorers are Marchand, Reinhart, Lundell, and Greer. Ain't that crazy? Greer looks good wherever you put him. Deadly Flames draws question. Do you think the Flames tank for Gavin McKenna? I mean, I think what is going on we talked about with playing Wolf so much. I mean, maybe it wouldn't be Deadly Flames. It wouldn't be a bad idea, right? It wouldn't be a bad idea. I mean, let's face it. The Flames are in that zone. They had Gaudreau and they had Kachuk and at some point previous they had Bennett. And so whatever that whole thing was going to turn into and the trades and Uyghur and Huberdeau, I mean, it is over. You know what I mean? I think Huberdeau's 32 now or something. I mean, whatever that roster was going to be. So a tank season to get yourself in better position wouldn't be stupid, to be honest with you, because they're nowhere near close beating a Colorado or a Vegas or an Edmonton in a playoff series, or even a few of the other teams. So, but they have some decent, right? They got close last year. They have some decent talent. It might maybe not be a bad idea to just tank it and grab a little bit more assets and then regroup for next year. Bill says, Lil J, with a little luck, Reinhart could put a 60-goal season. I didn't realize Reinhart had 5 already. He's one of those guys that just quietly just keeps scoring goals. He's got 5 goals. He's only got 1 assist. He's missing Barkov. That's interesting. He's got 5 goals and 1 assist. Huh. And 32% in the circle. We're going to need more from you there, Sam. We're going to need more from you, Sam. 32%. You got to at least give us 42% like you've been doing the last couple of years. Craig says 91 points was last year with Montreal. Okay. Yeah. Strafossi thinks the Mammoth will win the President's Trophy. Now that is interesting. Huh. What I will say is I think the President's Trophy will come out of the West. That's interesting. That's not a bad pick. That's really not a bad pick. The Knights are probably going to win that division, but they probably don't even want the President's Trophy. I mean, that's very possible. Mammoth or Avalanche, I would suspect. Yeah, good call. Fatality. Yeah, Nazar is good. Every time I watch one of their highlights, he's doing something. I like that guy. You're welcome for Spencer Knight. I hope you guys win a cup with him, just not against us. Okay? Just give me one more. Just give me one more. Give me the 3 in a row, right? So I can have fun trying to figure out where the hell to put that sign. Can you imagine if they actually pulled that off with all these injuries and all of to get to 4 straight cups and win a 3rd one in a row? You would have to figure that they would just next year just literally just sleep. You know what I mean? Kazuma says Mammoth have been a pleasant surprise. Hopefully they make it. Yeah. Craig says Bennett adopt another cat already and get out of the slump. Real says, I think because a lot of Reinhardt's goals have been in our losses. That's interesting. Yeah, let me look at that. So let's see. He got a goal against Anaheim. He got a goal against Vegas. He got a goal against Pittsburgh. And then against the Flyers and Ottawa. So, yeah, 2 in the wins. But we scored so many against Ottawa, nobody was paying attention. And then we lost to the Flyers, and he had a goal and an assist. We lost to Pittsburgh. We lost to Anaheim. Yeah, that's a good point. That's a good point. I can't believe we had that overtime power play last night and didn't pull it off, man. Vincent says, leave the President's Trophy to Vegas, please. Bill says, Josh already told my mother that the Panthers won 4 cups. Fireborn says, no, give it to the Avalanche. Habs say, the way Habs have been playing lately, we look good. Yeah, just you don't want the President's Trophy. Yeah, no, the Habs are in good shape. How's Montybo doing, though? I know Dobish is kind of taken over. How's Monty's numbers? Ugh. Woo! So when we were talking about whether or not Monty could continue his good season from last year, 60 starts. He was 282 and a 902. Right now, he's got 5 starts. He's got a 382 and an 842. Holy crap. So with that in mind, you go to Dobish, and Dobish is 6-0 with a 197 and a 930. That's disgusting. The Eastern Conference has a problem. We have a problem. This guy's going to be a problem, isn't he? Shit. And he's what, only 24? He's 24. He's 24. He's 6'4", 215. He's 6-0 with a 197 and a 930. How many shots is Montreal? Yeah, I mean, Montreal's allowing some shots here or there. They're kind of all over the place. That's wild. And the last game was actually his worst game. He allowed 3 goals and had an 857. He's kind of tapered off. The last 2 games, he's allowed 3 goals each, but Montreal is winning those games. So they're going to be a problem. Yeah, Demidov is something special. Yeah. Real says, I think the Oilers should win the President's Trophy. Maybe that's what they need to win the cup. Meadow says, Monty's statistically the worst starter per. Hey, yeah, it's bad. It's bad. I think that job is Dobish's now. If Monty continues to play like that, they may go get somebody else for a playoff run. Caulfield has also been, I know. Hey, look, I like that kid when he came up with Montreal, when they went to the Cup and during COVID. They just brought his ass up, and he looked good from the beginning. Lil J says that's not sustainable. I think with Dobish, teams just have to find his weak spot. Oh, yeah. I mean, the 197, I agree that's not completely sustainable. But what the hell happened to Monty? Jeez. Yeah, Skinner's numbers aren't that bad. Skinner is 241 and 898. I mean, he's fine. You know what I mean? He's fine. His last 5 starts, and he's 3-3-2-3-3. So he's gonna give up 3 goals a game. It just is what it is. But what Monty's doing is I hate to see that for the kid. I wonder if the pressure kind of got to him a little bit, I just wonder if the pressure, because he came into this season and, Montreal, really, this is the first time there's any expectations in Montreal and certainly while he's been there. So I hate to see that for him because his numbers had been getting better. last year was pretty good, but he had slowly improved. He had slowly developed and slowly improved. And what is he? Is he 28? 20's 28. You know, the year before, 314-903, then 282-902. As the Canadians have gotten better, he's gotten better. But boy, what a bad start. I hate to see that for him. I mean, 842, 5 games in, is what do his game logs look like? Holy crap. His last 3 games, he's given up 14 goals in his last 3 starts. And it's not like a ton of shots. 4 goals on 22 shots. 4 goals on 22 shots. 6 goals on 29 shots. Like, you got to get somebody better than that if Montreal wants to win the division. Mel says we're 6th in expected goals for 5-on-5. Yeah, what are we in actual goals, right? Dark Fear says, Jaws, I say the way the Ducks have been playing and start lately has been great for you as a Ducks fan. It's fun when your team has a chance, right? I'm seeing a lot of teams now that are where the Panthers used to be. We weren't terrible, right? And if we got on a nice little roll, we with a month left in the season, we'd be 3 points out in a game in hand, or 4 points out in a game in hand. And then you'd be watching every night, well, we could win and they could lose and maybe. And then we got 96 points the one year and didn't get in. That's bad, man. That's bad. You think about it, Montreal got in with 92 last year. We had 96 one of the years of the channel, and we didn't get in. I think it was the first Bugner year. Pretty sure that was the first Bugner year. 96 points, man. You miss. That was rough. I thought that team, that was the year that we got Yager, right? Was that the year we got Yager and we just missed when we got him? Or not? They all run together. What about Alex Lyon? Let me see here. I didn't look at Buffalo's goaltending yesterday when I was going through the surprise teams, but I only wanted to do 4 teams. Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen. Lion's been okay. Lyon, yeah. I mean, Lion's been decent, right? 277 and a 919. You can win with that. Ellis played a game. He allowed 2 goals and 1. And then, Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen. God, I love that. I love those names. I mean, he only started the 1 game, but he didn't look very good. So that would be one thing that I would be concerned about if I was Buffalo is long-term goaltending. Lyon, he's playing about his career. He's playing a little bit better above board in his career. But he's another guy that, I mean, the most games he played was with Detroit a couple of years ago. We had a 305 and a 904, which is a pretty good save percentage for allowing 3 goals a game. Last year, 281 and 896, and he's about there this year too, right? He was really good with Florida. Can he sustain it? I mean, I don't know about the 919, but he could probably finish at about, 265 and 905. That might be good enough, but you're going to need better backup because the Atlantic is just Vincent, where the hell is Tivon Levi? There he is. I don't know what the hell happened to that kid. So they gave him a little bit of an opportunity, right? So he had the 1 year, 7 games, 294, 905. Then he gave him 21 starts a couple of years back, 310 and 899. Last year, he had 8 starts, 412 and 872. And so I'm going to assume he's in the AHL at this point. And that is where he is. So last year, this is a guy that's an excellent AHL goaltender, but not an NHL goaltender yet. How old is he? How old are you? It's 23. He's got some time. He's only 23. He must have really been young when we traded him. So for the AHL Rochester Americans, his numbers the last couple of years, 242 and a 927. And last year, 220 and a 919. And in the 3 games this year is a 234 and a 908. So he goes to the AHL and he's kicking ass. And then he comes back up and he's not ready, but he's also only 23. He must have been like 18 when we traded him. I'm looking at the right. Yeah, he's only 23. When did we trade for Reinhardt? He must have been like 19 years old. What do we got here? Hey, thank you, Eyes. Thank you, buddy. Thank you, Eyes. I appreciate that. He says, just watch the Steve Dangle video. That was priceless. You earned it. I appreciate that, brother. Thank you, man. I had fun with that. And it was your idea, right? I thought about maybe doing the video, but you're like, have Zito call him. And so I said, okay, well, at first I thought maybe I should fake his voice. I said, no, there's got to be some highlights that I can find of him. And it was just perfect when I heard that. I remembered the Jesper Boquist part when he said it. And that's who I would want to trade. So it just fell so perfectly into place. I was laughing my ass off. Fatality Blackhawks. Corey Crawford was a great goalie for the Blackhawks. Spencer Knight's going to be good. I says the Sabres D is going to ruin Levi. He's only 23. Emperor King Reinhardt was traded July 24th, 2021. So he was 19 when we traded him. So, geez. We tend to get our players back. We got Kulikov back, right? We just got Cole Schwint back. I'm just saying. He's only 23. Like, he could easily marinate in the AHL for a couple of years. You got anybody in Buffalo? What do you guys want to give us? What do you want us to give you for Levi? We'll take him back. We'll take him back. We'll put him in our goalie system. All of our goalies turn into gold, right? Key Masher. Hey, bud, can we shoot on net? I know. The aim has not been spectacular. Meadow says goal stats. We've scored the 4th fewest goals in the NHL, only above Philadelphia, the Rangers, and Calgary. Woof. I says it would have been funny if the Steve Dangle video would have ended with Steve accepting a trade with Bill and them saying, damn, he's good. Yeah. All right, everybody, I got to roll. Kyle is up and ready to go to the gym. I promised him we'd get to the gym if he was ready at 1 o'clock because I run out of energy quick because we're up so early with Donna going to work so early. Check out the video. Do me a favor. I've asked this before. I don't know if anybody's done it. Hype that video, the one I put out this morning. I want to see if a bunch of you give a video hype, if it actually makes a difference. And so I appreciate that. And I'll be back noon tomorrow, no problem. We're going to be doing the Dolphin game tomorrow. And then I'll have a couple extra announcements, some different kind of content out tomorrow as well. Everybody go enjoy your night. Appreciate your night. Yeah, well, go enjoy your night. Enjoy the rest of your day, but enjoy your night as well. And I shall see you mañana.